Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Press Pause with Jouhayna. On today's episode, I have Torkia Mahloul. She is the co-founder and CEO of 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐸. Last week, we spoke about women's health and egg freezing, and this episode is more for us to get to know one another. Ready?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so this is your first time playing. You go first. You pick any block, and
Okay.
there's actually 2 questions per block now to change things up. So it's 108 questions on the whole tower.
What is something you have outgrown and how did you recognize it? You want me to start?
Yeah, you go first.
I think I have outgrown FOMO. I wanted in my 20s to do everything and anything. You invite me, doesn't matter if I'm available or no, I'll make it. I wanted to, probably compared to my childhood, I was craving experiences and to a point where I didn't really value my time anymore, like just going from one event to another, from one meeting to another, just for the sake of ticking a box. And I think in my 30s now, I cannot be bothered. And the way I noticed that is I can lie to skip. To skip something. I would be happy, like, to make excuses, to, like, I enjoy my company way more. I wanted to be always on the go before. And if you're doing something, it means that you're productive, that you like make the best of your time. Now I'm trying to really focus my time, my attention onto the right things that will either help me work-wise or will just really satisfy me, fulfill me. Like, and it doesn't have to be like the best and most exciting like program. It has just to be meeting a friend and feeling that conversation did so much for me.
Exactly.
So yes, maybe like being focused more on the real stuff, I would say.
I feel you. To be honest, I was going to say something quite similar. I have a 5-year age gap with my little sister. And she's going through a phase right now where she loves to go out and socialize and just be out. And I used to be exactly the same when I was her age. Copy paste. And then she was asking me, like, you know, I have some annual leave in December. So she's like, Jouhayna, we're off at the same time. Let's travel. Let's go all around Europe and just like travel together and everything. And I was like, Mira, no.
Yeah.
You know, and before I would have booked the flights, I would have upgraded us to business so we have an extra special experience and like, you know, booked the hotels because I love to plan things actually. So I would have done all of that. But now when she was telling me that, what would have excited me so much 5 years ago, I'm like, no, I don't want to go out with all these people. I have one friend, no, actually 2 friends that I really like that I stay in touch with. And I'm so happy to just sit with them. Like, we don't even have to talk or even eat, just to sit.
Yeah.
I'm so content with that. So I feel like that, and also to expose what I am doing on social media. So like now my social media presence is intentional. Whereas before I was like, look at all these fun things I'm doing. I'm going out. I'm doing all these things. I want everyone to know. Now you know what I want you to know. So I feel like those are like the 2 things that come together of me outgrowing that, you know. I don't feel the need for external validation. And I realized that with posting less and posting intentionally and, you know, it being podcast focused and everything. But also, I don't want to do all that with my little sister. I love her for it. And I will put an air tag on her that she doesn't know about so I can watch it over her. But yeah, I just can't.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. It's very similar.
Yeah, feeling like finding substance in what you do, just not filling in the void that we have plenty of when you were young. Now you're like, okay, you do things with meaning and with intention, as you said. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, so now we put the block at the top.
Okay.
All right. This way, yeah. Perfect. Oh, here we go.
It's a risky one.
I know. I like to play dangerously. Okay. What do you do to press pause?
I like I have like very long hours because of the job. And sometimes when things are going really bad and I know that I cannot really think or process because it's just the day is intense, I would just probably disconnect and do one of the two things. Either go for a walk, like I love doing that. I love just even going to do some retail therapy.
Oh yes, that's the best.
Yeah, touching things that I cannot afford and and just going and delving into the most shallow part of me.
Okay.
Like things that are insignificant and useless and take your minds off the important stuff, which is work, family, health, because, oh, that bag is cute and I like trying it. And that is a lot of the time what I do to just disconnect from the important stuff. And when I don't have really time to do that, I'm just like in between calls and all of that. Literally, I work a lot from home. I'll sit on my couch and put together a snack and watch 15 minutes of Netflix and really have, again, that disconnection feeling that I forget about the mess that's waiting for me in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Just, it's a breather to not continue taking on the anxiety and the pressure and
I feel you. And, the pressing pause of the Netflix thing, I resonate with that a lot because I love rotting on the couch. Look, this is how much I love TV. It's 85 inches of just television. Like, we did not have a wedding we had a honeymoon, but we didn't have like a big wedding. I was like, I just want a big TV. And we both aligned on that.
And imagine like inviting your friends. I don't invite you to my wedding, but cinema night at my place.
Exactly.
That's what you're gonna get.
And we both aligned on that. I was like, I want a big rock and a big TV. So that was it. So I love to press pause in that way. This year is when I've explored Islam more as an adult. So, we grew up in a similar way of being raised in a traditional household. And it was instilled in me that I have to pray, I have to fast. And everything I did was because my grandma told me to, not because it is something I wanted to do. So this year I was like, okay, I need to find something to spiritually connect with myself and just feel better, because I was just feeling anxiety like all the time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pray and I'm going to do it in Ramadan. So I was like, I'm just going to do 1 month crash course of spirituality. So now I've continued that and, I pray, and that's my moment to press pause because, I work full time as an air traffic controller and that's shift work. So outside of that, I'm tired all the time. So if I get a nap in, ooh, that's amazing. But then also to have the podcast, there is so much that happens behind the scenes of scheduling content, approving all the videos that the editors are working with. And I like to delegate, but also I have to manage and almost micromanage with certain aspects because I want the show to be of a certain quality and for the guests to be comfortable with all the content being put out, So it's just about being there for them in that way. So I feel like there's once a month where I have a do nothing day and I just sit on the couch and I do nothing. I order in double pepperoni pizza extra crispy. I'm like, oh, I have a gluten and dairy intolerance. Who cares? I have 2 bathrooms. And I will sit there. I'll let in all the dogs from the garden because they have their own air-conditioned doghouse outside. So I'll let them in and I just vegetate with them on the couch. And then I got so bored of watching reality TV. I want something that is so stupid.
I love that.
Stupid to watch. While I'm watching, I'm like, I feel so intelligent in comparison.
It can even be something that's on mute, just looking at the images because whatever they say does not have anything interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm the same. I dive into the most superficial part of me that enjoy the most silly and basic things on my couch.
Yeah, exactly. Mind-numbingly idiotic television. I have my moments where I like to learn things, like how I sent you the Blinkist I was listening to this morning. I'll start my day with nourishment of my mind, body, and soul. But by the end of the day, trash.
I'm watching Kardashians on TV, yeah.
Exactly. And like it's so contagious that even my husband was very like male macho and like, I don't watch these things. He slowly just screams to me. He's like, can you believe what she is wearing? I'm like, no.
You're corrupting him.
I am. I really am. This morning he had to learn about women's health, and tonight I'm going to make him watch some garbage reality TV.
That's married life.
Exactly. Okay, your turn.
I'm less adventurous than you.
You can tap around and see what feels loose as well.
Okay. What makes you feel most alive, and how often do you experience it?
Ice baths. Because I'm in there and I'm like, what is happening? And I feel every cell of my being. Yeah, ice baths. Going from a sauna into an ice bath. And then doing that 3 more times.
I've tried that, and I'm going to try again. But it was so painful.
Okay.
Like, it's like I had like thousands of knives stabbing my legs. Like, I could not last more than 20 seconds, and I had to try 3 times to really push myself to dive up to the shoulder. So I'm really impressed. Like, to me, it's like my heart is racing. I'm feeling like I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm scared to death when I'm inside that thing.
Yeah, I felt it too. So my weight has fluctuated my whole life. So then I was like, okay, khalas, I'm doing a intensive boot camp. I'm going to hire a PT and everything. So I was between personal trainers at the time. So then there was another PT who I'd been watching on Instagram for a while, and I was like, her. So I messaged her, and she's like, oh, we do a 12-week boot camp where, you have to commit. It's 5 days a week. 2 days of the week in the gym are with me, and then another 3 aren't. But I'll give you a free recovery session at the end of every month. I was like, sold. I heard the word free. So we finally reached, and she told me, she's like, we don't have to do it at the end of the month. When you start feeling your body is like done. So it took me like 5 days. She was like, okay, I'll book us a recovery session. So she takes me. We go, yes, shout out to Longevity Sports and Coast. Is that why you did your ice bath?
Yes.
Oh, okay, with Laura. I love her.
She's the best.
I love her.
Laura, if you watch, we love you. I'm going to come back. I promise. I said I'm going to come back. I am planning to come back
with you.
Please do.
Yes.
Like, I'm planning to book a session to reduce my inflammation. And honestly,
I'll come with you. Like, if you feel anxiety of going on your own, I'd love it.
Do.
I will come with you.
I need somebody to push me, to push myself to make it through like 30 seconds at least.
I'm there, and I'll tell Laura you have to be there.
Yeah.
So you'll have both of us.
But she's so amazing at really getting your mind to control your body.
Exactly.
Like, I want to do it again.
Yes, so my PT took me there, and then I knew Laura from before.
Okay.
So she walks in, and I'm looking at her because I'm like, this woman is stunning. Like, I just appreciate the human form. So she walks in, I was like, oh, she's stunning. Then she looks at me, she's like, Joe? I'm like, Laura? And then I was telling her, I'm like, oh, it's my first ice bath, and she helped me like ease into it and everything. And I was there with my PT. So it was a quiet day, like in the middle of the week. So we did 10 minutes sauna, 10 minutes ice bath, 3 rounds. With my PT. And when my PT told me that I'm entering an ice bath, I was like, why? Let's go for a massage, Anya. What is this? I'm like, we can do the sauna, no problem. And then we can wait till we cool down and go for a massage. What is this ice bath? By the time we were done with it, I felt so amazing after. It was like, I had like my own little like high of some sort.
Wow.
I felt great. Even when I ate food later, the food tasted better. It was such an amazing experience. So I love doing it, this contrast therapy. So I've been trying out different places all around Dubai. And
that helps with what?
So it helps with, there's a lot of benefits, right? So if you do the sauna into the ice bath, what my PT told me, and again, it's just what I remember her mentioning to me, it helps regulate your nervous system. So if you have something that you're bottling up deep down, it will come out. So for example, let's say there's somebody who's like super untherapized and feeling a lot of things inside, but you just can't cry. This will kind of bring your emotions up to the surface.
Okay.
So I am a lot more emotionally in tune with myself after working with my life coach. And I remember I was feeling a little emotionally constipated. I was like, I want to cry, but it's not coming out. Ugh. So we went up, we did
emotionally constipated.
Like truly, it was like right at the
spot.
Exactly. So I did the sauna, and I did the sauna, instead of 10 minutes, I did 20 minutes. Then I went to an ice bath of 5 degrees. And
5, you don't even 10, I'm dying.
yeah, I know, I was dying. So to the point in which I started crying in the ice bath. So I put my hands under my armpits, and then I got into the ice bath, and I just was shivering so much. And this is more than usual. Usually I have like I've got it down. So I'm shivering, and then and I just start crying. And because I'm crying and it's so like aggressive, I keep moving. And then I'm like, I feel colder because I'm moving. And it was just like, and thankfully, this was a different place than Longevity, because this was another new place that opened up recently called 𝐵𝐶𝐶, and it's female-owned private contrast therapy rooms. Thank God it was private, because my husband Andy's like in the sauna watching me, and I'm just like, and he's like, it's okay, just let it out. And I'm like, I am. So yeah, it for me, it's the nervous system that I like regulated. It also helps with mental strength. So a lot of the times I'm put in very high pressure mental situations with the line of work that I'm in. Mm-hmm. So it forces me to be like, you're staying in this even though you want to run away. So for me, it's more of a mental game than the physical. But yeah, it helps with like your brown fat being activated, so you lose weight better. You sleep better after, which for me, I've felt that because I'm a shift worker and I never sleep enough. So that's what makes me feel alive, because my body is being put under such duress by just sitting in a different environment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then after, food tastes better.
I need to do that more often. I just kind of bailed out the first time, but now that I have no more excuse and you're coming,
I will come with you.
Yeah.
Like, I have 2 weeks off right now. I will come with you.
Okay. We gotta plan it. So when it comes to the things that make me feel the most alive, I think there was a time where I was really traveling in very exotic places with a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And we would, in those countries, we would like really go off-road into really, adventure places, the top of the Inca pyramids in Belize, and there is nobody, gorillas around you in the jungle. Like, we used to explore a lot South America together, and sitting in part of the world where you experience peace and quiet and isolation, but also like some wonders, like some beautiful places. And I remember that feeling because sometimes I look at the pictures and I used to feel that I was on the top of the world.
Wow.
Like that I was fortunate to see the world like that by myself, not on Google pictures and all of that. And taste certain food, experience certain things, meet people like on the road and share experiences and feel like you're so privileged to be there because you come from that place and you started in life with like not nothing but with limited exposure. Mm-hmm. And then this is life, this is real, this is like as raw as it can get, and you climb rocks, you swim, you just feel that you're part of something bigger and you're alive because of that. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to experiencing it often, not often enough, it's been a few years I haven't done that, just because it takes at least 2 weeks to get to those places, at least planning. And as we grow old, people get married, they don't have flexibility that I might have to just jump onto a plane and just I remember it was like one of the first time I started this, it was from New York to South America, and we didn't have smartphones, we didn't have internet abroad. You literally cannot be accessed for like 2-3 weeks, like not your family. Yeah. And so you really reconnect with the world. Like you're not on Instagram. There was no Instagram. There was no browsing all day. There was no like just that online time that it's your real time. So that's where I felt, okay, I'm just out and living and breathing and experiencing
Yeah, I feel like putting the phone away is the best thing ever. I've been doing that for the last couple of months, and I'll just do it for like a day or two. I'll like just go away and stay in like a resort, and I don't have my phone.
Yeah,
I have an automatic WhatsApp message. I'm on a digital detox. See you later. Stars.
Really?
Yeah, and I just put that on my WhatsApp, and you know, that's it. The people that matter to me that are able to come will join me. But if not, they're exempt from the list because they're like, me too, you're also going to send me this message. I'm like, yes, I'm not speaking to anyone. If you want to reach me, call the hotel and this is my room number. And then I'll just put my phone away. And it's really helped a lot. Like, so if you want a mini switch off staycation, that too. That
I would love to be in a place where I don't think about work, where I need to be connected constantly because it has become a bad habit. You wake up in the morning,
First thing, yeah.
like it's just what it is with our lives today. But I'm nostalgic of that time in my life where I could not care if there was like the end of the world somewhere, whatever. I was living in the moment. Yeah,
I love that. The first time I ever felt like I saw the earth being so beautiful was when I was in Greece and I saw the sky and I'm like, it's better than the pictures.
For sure.
How do you approach decision making, especially with a difficult choice to make?
I don't know if I believe in that because a friend told me about the astrological sign. I'm a Libra.
Okay.
And apparently Libra are very indecisive.
Okay.
And I realize I don't know if it's because I'm a Libra, but I am indecisive whether the decision is big or not. I like asking people's opinions, which bothers a lot of them because what would you do? What would you do? But I don't listen.
Okay. That's fair.
I'm just curious. I'm like,
just tell me.
Yeah, I'm an overthinker and overshare.
I'm the same.
So
I'm the same.
I really, when I have something big to decide on and it's difficult, I tend to ask everybody around me, people who value the opinion, but at the end, I'm asking for an opinion, not an advice. So I don't end up...
Like a human Google search.
Yeah, I'm just like, it helps my thinking. But I'm not expecting people to tell me what to do. Like, important decisions need to be made. So it's a mix of gut feeling and a combination of, rationality. But at the end, I just trust my guts. If it feels right, I'll do it.
Okay.
But the process is always the same. I bother everybody. I end up doing what I wanted to do. And because I want ultimately, whether it goes wrong, right, you don't have regrets because I made that decision based on what I felt was right.
Exactly.
Like then I don't have to look back and say, I wish I listened to that person because that's coming from me. But I have an instinct that I need to look at the problem from everybody's perspective before coming to mine.
Yeah, I feel you. I have I'm also an overthinker. I'm an oversharer. But I've learned that I have to overshare with only certain people the hard way.
Yeah.
So, I will go and ask the opinions of a lot of people to find out what to do. So, usually it's like my mom, my husband, and my best friend. Those three. And then if it's, like I have the trio, like alhamdulillah, I'm like blessed to have, them around me that are such a solid core that help me. And then sometimes I don't listen to them.
Of course.
So we're also similar in that sense. But it's just about finding out how to do it. If it's something more technical or something to do with my career or anything like that, maybe I'll just sort out a mentor as well. So I just get different opinions from everybody else. Sometimes I do ask, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you think would be the best for me? Especially the core three, right? Because they know me so well.
Yeah.
So, and my mom, honestly, every time I don't listen to her, it backfires.
They have a special power.
Every single time.
They have a special power.
When I was younger, I always listened to my mom. Then I had a rebellious phase when I was like 22 till 25, 26-ish. It wasn't even rebellious. I just was like, I'm going to do what I want, even though you're telling me not to do it. And she's just like, all right, deal with it. So it wasn't like big rebellious. It was just like, I'm going to make mistakes now. And then now I've gone back to, if my mom says no, it's a no. And I text people that. They're like, oh, can you... No, my mommy said no.
They know better. They know better.
They do. You know, so that's basically what it is. So I will consult with people, but then if it's something that I have to make a difficult decision about the people that I love, my trio, then I just sit in silence and cry. And I'm like,
that can work too.
What to do? So yeah, but in all of this, my recent revelation is that I have to feel my feelings about it, because growing up I always pushed everything down. I'm like, I don't feel. Everyone always said I was very stoic. I was always everybody's rock. And now I've learned to literally, if I want to have a big cry in the middle of a restaurant, I will do it shamelessly.
I respect that.
Yeah. So because I held it in for years. The first time I remember crying was when I was 26. Yeah. Even as a child, I wouldn't cry. I would just say, I'm upsetting. Yeah. I'm disappointed.
I think that's even more concerning when a child says that than crying.
Yeah. I'll just sit in silence. I'm upsetting. Or
it's scary.
I'm suffering. And I just sit there. And imagine this like little mixed kid with big curly hair. I'm suffering. And then I'm like dramatically, slowly fall onto the ground.
I want to meet your mom one day. She had to deal with so much.
She really did. So yeah, okay.
Okay, my turn.
I'm actually starting a podcast with her.
You should.
Yeah.
Ooh la la. Ooh la la. But it does not work.
So I know it might give you anxiety, but the middle ones usually move quite nicely. So you can like poke them and see. Yeah. I had an engineer on the show and she's like, why would you keep taking from the middle? That's the core. I was like, but it comes out quickly.
Wow, this is a good one.
Okay. It's so good it fell.
Yeah. We haven't touched on my borderline personality, but This is it. How do you approach and navigate disagreements or conflicts in a relationship?
Do you want to go first?
Up to you. You want to start? Go for it.
You go first. I feel like you're ready. You're ready for this question.
It's my day-to-day, so I have to answer that one. I'm going to say how I'm approaching disagreements and conflict. Doesn't mean that the best way to do it, but I am a no-filter person, no bullshit person.
Same.
So I find disagreement and conflict healthy because it's a way to like lay it out. Mm-hmm. I think it's very unhealthy to keep things inside, but to the point where I'm not necessarily sensitive to people's feelings.
Okay.
Because I tend to say things the way I see them, but in a way where I don't mean any harm, and it's not personal, it's just like logical. Mm-hmm. Fact A, B, C, D, conclusion, and this is why I think this of that, and I can come as very tactless.
Okay.
And this is where sometimes, especially at work, I have to give warnings. I pretty much love everybody I work with, and I have a lot of respect for their work, their skills, but I do not filter myself, because for me there is no emotion when I give feedback or when I or just when I have conflict, it's really not about the person, it's about the situation.
Okay.
So I can easily like say my piece, argue about it for like an hour and hold zero grudge. Like,
Oh, that's good.
literally after I'm done, I'm back to normal.
Okay.
But I think that you need to be emotionally intelligent, that not people are like me, and I need strongly to work on that specific thing, which is sharing feedback, handling conflict in a way that also does not impact the other person, because me, I'm not impacted by it, so I don't understand where the other people are coming from, and maybe it can be demotivating, maybe it can be hurtful, but because if the role were reversed, I'm so not taking anything personally. Even criticism, it's constructive, it's not pleasant, but it gets you to think, it gets you into uncomfortable places. I don't dread conflicts, I embrace them to the point where I should tone it down and accept that in a conflict. I learned that very recently. The most important thing is not to be right, it's to get out of the conflict.
Yes.
And me being like passionate about everything I do, wanting to like convince people, and you just drain everybody. So I have my approach, but more recently and that's coming from my co-founder actually, that there is a situation. Do you care more about being right?
I feel you.
Or do you care about a resolution? I'm like, both, but I'm also right. I need them to acknowledge that I'm right. And I'm learning to let go and make it like just more tactful and pragmatic and solution driven than just like being my usual self who enjoy like the conflict until the end.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, it's let me read the question again to double check. So since it specifically mentions relationships, I'll talk about like with my mom or sisters or husband, friend. I was not a very confrontational person. I'll just disappear. Poof, I'm a little ghoster. That's how I used to be.
Wow.
I used to ghost like nobody's business. My block list, massive. It's like, oh, you messed up. Okay, well, we're done.
You're more scary than me.
We're done. And it's as simple as that. And when I'm done, you will never hear from me again. And when I make the decision to cut you out, I don't feel bad. Like, I don't feel like, oh, I miss you. No. Wow. My pride is so big that I will actually not feel that. But to get me to the stage of cutting you off takes a lot. So for me to reach that point of cutoff, I would cut without even thinking. Then my life coach is like, Jouhayna, we do not do that anymore. You have to address it with them. I'm like, yeah, but I don't care if I lose them and I never speak to them again. And she's like, okay, if that's the case, where you truly, from the bottom of your heart, if you found out something happened to them, would you regret that you cut them off the way that you did or not? And if my answer is, I don't care if I never hear from them again, and I never want anything bad to happen to anyone, but let's say we were never able to contact one another again, and I'm cool with it, you will never hear from me again. Cut. Block. Block, 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 block. You will never hear from me, you'll never see me. If I see you, I'm a very smiley person, so I will smile at everybody that I see, and I will legit go, you do not deserve my smile. So
it's traumatizing for the other person.
It is, because I'm so verbal and bubbly and welcoming. But the minute I flip, astaghfirullah, even the dogs around me, they feel the energy shift and they get scared.
You know, that's horror movies, like Turkey's out.
Yeah. It's like, hi, I love you. Get out. You know, so, and yeah, unlike you, I hold grudges. I'm like, I'll hold it. I've gotten better with the work. Like, I've been working with my life coach for like 4 years now. And I've gotten better with forgive them for you. And I'm like, oh, you know? So, yeah. So now, if you matter enough to me and I bring it up, that's how you know I like really love you. Because I'm not just going for immediate block or delete or khalas, I'm not in your life anymore. So,
Yeah.
you know, like we were discussing off camera, like some of my previous friendships, nothing. You're dead to me. like literally. But now I'm better. Now I will address it if I don't like something. And then, as you mentioned, it's less about being right and more about how do we get out of this, so yeah. And I feel like being married has forced me
Oh yes,
to do that.
you cannot ghost him.
Yeah, I can't. He knows where I live. So I think if I wasn't married, I think I would still be a blocking ghoster. But because I'm married and I was forced.
We have to thank your husband.
I do.
You have.
He gets a Nobel Peace Prize, literally. Because when we did, it was a very minor thing. I remember it was so small that even the people around me, like, it's not even a big deal. I'm like, but it matters to me.
Yeah.
So when I had to overcome that hurdle, and I didn't do it alone, I spoke to my life coach. So actually my life coach, that's the answer. My life coach, I go quiet to the person. I'm like, I need a minute. And then I'll book a session. I will deliberate with her. And then we come up with a strategy after I felt my feelings. And then she's like, all right, are we keeping them or not? I'm like, I guess we're keeping them. But it takes every fiber of my being to put my pride aside and be like, let's talk this out.
Wow.
Yeah. So then he was actually the catalyst to my disagreement, maneuvering, forgiveness.
That's good.
Yeah.
It means there is progress. There is hope for me too. Like there is. Sometimes I'm like, I'm never going to get over those bad patterns.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, actually, it's just working on myself.
Yeah. And, I have gotten a lot better. But let's say Ghost of Christmas Past comes around, of whoever I have cut off. No forgiveness. No going back. So, yeah. So now I've gotten better. So everybody fresh past 2020,
so Jouhayna
24
2.0 can offer forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there have, like, even with companies as well, if something doesn't go my way, I will cut you. I will never, I will pay you because I will never take your risk, but I will never work with you again. That's how I am also working with companies. But now that I'm a conflict resoluting girl, I will have a very, very in-depth, bullet pointed with a list conversation and let you know what I like and don't like. And then if we can move forward, yes. If we can't, out. I will pay you your debt or whatever I owe you, because even if you did a bad job, I'll still sort it out, because I'd never want to take from somebody's risk, I don't even know what risk is in English, even though I only speak English.
It is.
But what is owed to you.
Yeah.
So I will do that. Because I don't want anyone to take mine. So good juju, I will do that. But also with companies as well, I'm like that. So yeah, but I've gotten so much better because I actually confront now. But I need to be more like you and not hold grudges.
But me, people hold grudges against me. So
ouch.
So I need to. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What is the most significant change you made in your life and what prompted it?
The most significant change was actually a health change. When I was a teenager, I was chubby, I was bigger. And then entering my 20s, I lost weight without thinking because of school. It was very stressful part of my life. And then when I became skinny, I enjoyed it so much that I was on the other extreme. I had food disorder.
Oh, okay.
And it was years of that situation where basically, because I have a sweet tooth, I would literally eat cookies and cakes and chocolate and skip every other meal.
Okay.
And I didn't realize I'm in my 20s, but it's taking a toll on my health. But you know what? You live on sugar and coffees and you still feel skinny, which was so unhealthy.
Mm-hmm. And it felt like a hack, probably.
Yeah. I felt like I'm enjoying what I like and I'm counting the calories. It was really bad, and I think it's still impacting me today with my hormones and my guts and all of that. But from one situation, it gets worse and your digestive system does not work and you start taking medication to help you years of my life. And actually, you're also hiding it because socially, you cannot have meals and all of that. It's a whole story.
Yeah, it's really intense.
And you don't want people to ask you questions. So you just like, I had like an early lunch. And it's only when I started dating that guy, seriously. And you cannot hide it anymore because you have to go for dinner and lunches. And I'm like, okay, obviously I have to sort it out. And I think he never knew.
Okay.
Because you want to act normal as well.
Your health.
Yeah. And your mental health, your physical health, and you have to also have a social life, and you have so progressively like re-eating normally, which is really not something that you can take on, and you have to take probiotics to help your gut just readjust to working, and you have to like eat tons of fruits and vegetables to increase the intake of fiber. Like everything was messed up. And it took me like 2 years to be back to normal. Didn't put on weight. If anything, felt like stronger, healthier, happier. But the thing is, like, when you get into that kind of path, it's so difficult to come back to normal because you're almost addicted to your pattern. So that was the most significant change and the most needed one. I would have been even more messed up fertility-wise, health-wise, if I continued on that path.
Definitely. Oh, I feel you, girl.
Sorry, it was depressing.
No, it's not even depressing. It's the truth. It's the honesty. And I will be honest with you as well. So for me, it was pure denial, delusionalness that I experienced myself. So like you see the house as very minimalist. I've always had a very minimalist vibe. I will only keep mirrors in the bathroom and my hidden vanity, right? So I wasn't in this place when that was the case, but minimal mirrors always. Like my mom, she was obsessed with the feng shui when I was growing up.
But why minimal mirrors?
So my mom believed if the mirror is not in the right place, then there is going to be bad energy in the house or something like that. So it was just a weird thing and a weird piece of information that stuck with me from my childhood into adulthood. So I was like, no mirrors, done. So I didn't really have any mirrors except for my makeup mirror, which is focused on the face. And then when you're in the bathroom, it's only focused on your face. So during COVID, I got COVID in November 2020. And it was quite early in those days. It was the same year that it came out. So it was the first strain of COVID. It really heavily impacted my health. Now, prior to that, I was working out 5 times a week. I was eating once or twice a day maximum. And I was heavily in a calorie deficit, avoiding carbs. It was like definitely not healthy. I was moving more than I was eating. And I was like, oh, I'm in the best shape ever. Like, you know, I can handle my workouts with my PT who was giving it to me, like really, really hard workouts 5 days a week. So then COVID happened. We couldn't go out. If I can't physically go to the gym, I'm not really interested in doing a workout on my stairs or anything like that. So I kept eating. I wasn't eating the way that I was before because I was so busy and like working out, going to university at the same time. Like I was so busy, I didn't even have time to eat. And now I had time to do nothing but eat. So in COVID, I ate and ate and ate and ate and ate. And I was like, my face is still so cute. Look at me. And I put on so much weight. So when I got into the pandemic, I was like early 70 kilos. There was a weighing scale. And he goes on the weighing scale and he's like, oh, I'm 106 kilos. I've put on so much weight, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm going to go on the scale. And he's like, you're comfortable to let me see your weight? I'm like, you already love me, whatever. So I go on the scale and it shows 106. And I was like, the scale is broken. So I put on 30 kilos without realizing in COVID. Like truly, I did not realize I put on 30 kilos in COVID.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, like that is, yeah, exactly. Like, and I was like, the scale is broken. And he's like, yeah, it is.
Makes 2 people happy.
Exactly. I was like, you're so intelligent. Exactly. So then after that, didn't really think anything of it. Like, okay, my habayas weren't fitting the way that they should have. Just means to make bigger ones, and the tailor got it wrong, not me. So I was so delusional about it. I was eating, binging. And then because my lungs were impacted during COVID, I wasn't able to, like, I was like, okay, at least let's go for a walk in the evenings. I couldn't even keep up with that. So then I realized I had actually genuinely put on that 30 kilos when I went for my aviation medical. Every 2 years you're supposed to go. I step on the scale. I'm like, it's 106. I'm like, scales are broken everywhere. And the doctor's like, yeah, this isn't right. Let's take you to an endocrinologist. First thing, she sees me. She's like, oh, let's do a gastric bypass. You're really big. I'm like, what? No. Then she put me on Saxenda, which is the daily injection for weight loss. Then I moved to Ozempic, Wegovy. Now I'm on Mounjaro. And it's part of my medical that I have to be on these medications till I hit my target weight.
But how long are you allowed to be on those medications?
I have no idea, but I've been on them for like 2 years.
And it has worked.
It has worked. I've dropped 18 kilos, so it's not as significant as most people who are on these injections. I know one guy who, but again, male, he lost 35 kilos in 6 months. I was like, if I lose 35 kilos, I won't even have a personality left. Like, you know? So that's the case. So I had a big realization. And then even when I realized that, oh, maybe I have put on weight, like, you know, when they take your blood pressure, she had to bring out the bigger extended band, which I didn't even know existed until my chubby arm was being measured.
And all of it happened just during COVID.
During COVID. So I wasn't even able to like, you know, they had quarantines, so I couldn't access the gyms with the hospitals as well. Like, you couldn't really access them. So just put on so much weight, and I didn't realize. So now I'm on the spectrum of losing the weight again, but it's so hard. Even with the medication, it's really hard for me to continue dropping the weight. And at the moment I've plateaued. So now people look at me, they're like, oh, you've lost so much weight and your face is pretty again. I'm like, that is so rude to say. But yeah, and you know, it was just such a significant change that I made of listening to the people around me and medical professionals of like, you need to drop this weight, like you're so unhealthy. And I felt it in my body, but I didn't accept it and it didn't register.
Wow.
Yeah, so
now that I think you're still on that journey, but it's still progress. Like, I remember back then when there was no like drugs to help you lose weight, and I think I lost 15 kgs between my teenage years and when I became like skinny to death. And we were doing it with the most unhealthy ways, the most unhealthy ones, skipping meals, starving ourselves, taking like miracle teas, and it messes up everything, the balance inside of your body. So I think doing it in a monitored way with a doctor, even if it takes time, it's the right way to do it. It's just like more healthy on the long term. So yeah,
exactly. And I relate to what you mentioned, because when I did ballet for 14 years, so from the ages of 4 till 18, and I felt the pressure to have to be slim. Yeah, because with all ballerinas, you know,
back then, even the clothes, like living in Paris.
Yeah, and low-rise jeans.
Yeah, and they this, like, if you're fat, you either won't find your size, or it won't look the way it looks on the skinny French zero size girl. Like, and you were almost told that this is beauty, and yeah, it's unfortunate, but we were put on that path by. There was not even social media, but the magazines.
The magazines, yeah. Even the magazines that reached here. You were in France, but I would see like all the magazines, and I'm like, why don't I have blue eyes, blonde hair, and that skinny? Also, should my hip? Why can't I see my hip bones? I actually felt I was so ugly as a child because of what I saw in the media. You know,
well, there was like some pretty terrible trends. Like, you remember the thigh gap?
Yeah,
you would stand in front of the mirror, make sure that your legs, your thighs don't touch, and you'd be so proud, and then you can go on skipping the next meal. It's just so scary. Things have changed, but I think there was nobody to guide us through that. It took me like years to really just realize that I have to eat healthy, which is a given.
Exactly. You know it, but you don't know it.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So let's play speed Jenga.
Okay.
So speed Jenga, you just play the game how it's designed to be played. So you just take a block and you put it up. We're not going to answer questions till it falls.
But now you cannot be, like, you have to be, well,
Tap around and see what feels right.
on this one.
Cool.
They're praying for me to.
Okay, and then that way. Oh, here we go.
Oh. That's not fair what you've done.
I made one loose.
Yeah, but it's gonna. I have so much pressure now.
Okay. Let's see if I can eyeball one. Oh, this one I made it loose earlier. That gives you so much anxiety.
You have practiced too much at that game. That's not fair.
Oh, good job.
Wait, it's not Spanish.
Oof, there we go.
You're right, the middle one are.
They're so much easier, yeah. I don't know. I don't understand the science behind it, but... Oh, no.
Oh, it's so easy for you.
I just touch around and see. I'm like, that one doesn't look like I should touch it.
This is bad.
Prepare. Sometimes you don't... Oh, here we go.
That's not right.
And yeah, you can go past the last completed story. So up here, this is the last one. So you can go any one of these down.
Doesn't make it easy.
Good chat. Oh, here we go.
That shit is gonna collapse. Girl, you got me here.
Let's see if I can help you. Oh, they're all really solid. Rude.
I think this one is the only one that can. Hey. It hasn't fallen yet.
I think you can manage this one.
I'm not sure. The whole thing is.
You did really good. For your first Jenga game, you did so well.
That was fun.
Yeah, you liked it? Yay!
I had a hope.
What does the block say?
What does the concept of home mean to you, and how was it evolved over time? I think I was running away from home. I remember when I was a child, I definitely didn't want to get married. I didn't want to have children. I felt that what we had as a family was so boring and overrated, which is your parents go to work and then dinner and then you go to school. Like, I was always on the non-conforming spectrum where, like, looking for the next adventure and more freedom and being independent financially. So I was very individualistic, like my needs, me, what I want to do in life, who I want to be. And it felt that it would always have to happen outside of a home and the family structure. Later in life, probably because of dating and sometimes being in a relationship, I started feeling comfort and security and finding peace into having a home, because I had moved location so many times, left to live in the US, then Dubai, then Singapore, then London, then Paris again, then Dubai again. It felt like I was always on the move, and if it felt exciting in the first part of my life, my 20s, it was tiring. So now I'm craving home, but not as a home, as an apartment. I have an apartment. I have everything that gives me, I would say, like that's my safe space. But I'm craving a home that has a man, children, people who I can share my day-to-day. Like sometimes, like it's lonely to be on your own, even in the most beautiful apartment. You have the holiday season, you have Eid, you have like summer, everybody's flying out. And home is not a place, but like people that you can move around now with, whether for vacation, where you can spend time with. Like, it's just what it has evolved to be, like the same structure that my parents had. Actually, that's something that I want again, but maybe in the less traditional way, but still with the same structure and benefit, I would say.
Oh, I love that. For me, when I was a child, I felt very displaced at home. And we had a very turbulent childhood, at least for me. I protected my two little sisters from a lot, to the point in which when they became adults and started noticing things, they're like, oh, it's never been this way. I'm like, it always has, but I protected them from it. So I didn't like being home when I was a child. I found it very uncomfortable. That's the politically correct term, uncomfortable. And then when I was an adult, I never felt like, I was never the kind of person that was material. I don't like material things. So even when I moved out, I took the job in Abu Dhabi because I noticed my mom was getting tired. So she had us, in air quotes, later in life. And I noticed she was getting tired. She was the one who was taking care of us in every sense. She was like our mother, like our father. And as the eldest child syndrome, I'm like, I have to take care of everything because mommy is tired. So I took the job in Abu Dhabi when I was 19. I moved to Abu Dhabi and I couldn't find a place to stay in an apartment, and I couldn't rent it out because I think I was too young for it. So I lived in a hotel, which is wild because I was able to live in a hotel for like a year, but I couldn't have my own apartment. So exactly. And then I was giving like something like 70% of my salary to my mom to put towards my sister's education because they were still in private school and I didn't want them to be changing anything up later in their high school careers. And then just whatever else mom needed, I was like, just keep the money, take care of everyone. So I had to pay rent for 2 homes. So that's actually why I lived so far from everyone, because this was the cheapest place I could find as a Abu Dhabi student to pay for myself and pay for my mom's home with my sisters, because I couldn't do the drive every day. Abu Dhabi to 𝐻𝐵𝐻 is too far. So even when I moved into that place, it didn't feel like home. It was all I had because I was very vain at 19, 20. I had a makeup mirror, again, just my face, the bathroom mirror, and the cupboards were built in, and I had a bed, and that was it. My cat, who I adopted at the time, had more furniture than me. The cat had a cat bed and a plate, those ones that they can climb up, and a really fancy ceramic water bowl, and their kibbles were premium. And
you had the vanity, you cannot have it all.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I had my vanity and my bed, and I was like, this is enough for me. So again, that never felt like home. Then when I graduated as an air traffic controller and I got a big salary bump, I was like, money will fix everything. And it didn't. I just had more stuff. So I went to IKEA and I was like, I like this room. So I want it in my house. And he's like, what are the measurements? I'm like, I don't know, send someone. So I was such a little brat about it as well. So then I made the apartment homely, where it had stuff like a TV and a coffee table. Like I literally had nothing in the living area. It was just my cat and all her stuff. So I didn't even have curtains. I only had curtains in the bedroom. Like it looked like nobody lived there. Like a cat took over an abandoned property. So then
had a servant.
And had a servant, a human servant, exactly. And this cat was so intelligent. She could even open doors and with her paws, it would like jump, and she was like, meow, wake up, you know. So then I thought making that place a home was putting stuff in it from IKEA that makes homes. Didn't feel like home. Moved to a townhouse with the friend I was telling you about.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how to make a place aesthetic. You do it. So she made it a home. Didn't feel like home still. Then with this place, this was the first time it felt like home, because this is our marital home. You know, we have 3 dogs, so they have their own little dog house outside, and every part of the house was designed with intention. I had help, so Mariam, my interior decorator, and she became a friend as well in that journey, because I was like having meltdowns and she was calming me down. I was like, why isn't everything looking the way it should? And you know, so we made everything with intention. The art on the walls is there. The podcast is shot in the house, so it has a homely feel, because I never felt that a place being associated with a home. So this is the first time this specific apartment, which isn't that big. The garden is bigger because I care for my dogs more than myself.
There's still a pattern there with the pets.
Exactly. Like my pets have always taken over everything, you know, but they're disciplined. They know not to cross mother. But yeah, so that's just how it's always been. So this is the first time I felt that home of, and I want and who I choose to let into my house, I'm very picky now. Because before in the townhouse, I used to have everyone over. It was the party house. So now I'm like, no, unless I really like you and my mom likes you, you're not coming over. And unless you're a guest for the show as well, I'm very selective who I pick as a guest, because it's not a random studio. You're coming to my house. So yeah,
I like it. It feels homey. It feels like a place where there is life. So just 2 friends chatting about their lives on a Saturday morning. Like, you know, when you go to like those cold impersonal studios, you don't get that vibe to just relax and go with the flow.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because this is why I chose it to be the home. The first season, I was like, oh, we'll go wherever the guest wants to the guest's house. But there was so much bad weather, so everyone's house was like leaking through and everything. So everyone's like, I'll come to your house. Did your house get affected? I'm like, subhanallah, no. Yeah. So everyone just came over, and then I was like, oh, let's just shoot at that house. So yeah.
That's a good idea. The decor is perfect.
Yeah. Mariam, mashallah. She did great. Her episode just came out. So
I'm going to watch that one.
Yeah. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in. Torkia, so nice to meet you. And a shout out to Becky for connecting us. Becky she works in your PR.
She does, marketing for us, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, she reached out to me. She just sent me a message on my DMs, and it was a hidden message. So thankfully, I actually opened it and didn't just, you know, delete all. I'm so grateful.
She has always the best ideas, and she knows how to bring people together. I love her.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even when I met her on Google Meet, I'm like, do you also want to come on my show? Because I like you. So
she's the best.
Inshallah, when she's back in town. So everybody tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. I learned so much, and I hope you did too. Stay tuned for next week. Thank you.